Chicano Ideas Show. What's cracking? How's it going? What it do? How's it feel? Are you a leader? Are you a Chicano leader? Do you feel like you're a leader? What is supposed to be a leader? Who is a leader? Chicano leaders. We know we haven't been relevant for the past 50 years. Why haven't we had Chicano leaders? Why were some of the Chicano leaders not around during the 90s after the 80s? Is it because of reasons like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, leaders like Robert Kennedy, or JFK to be exact, getting assassinated? So, what made a person like Corky Gonzalez, who was as radical as he was, finally simmer down during the 80s? What was because why? Because we got into the colleges, because Chicano studies was accepted in the mind of the system to be taught to a certain point, to which nowadays you got a Asian guy, Asian woman teaching Chicano studies. What is a leader? Well, in this book, it doesn't talk about like a leader like Corky Gonzalez or Cesar Chavez, your typical people. This book is about people who came up from nothing as being a Chicano and made their way into being somebody. Whether if it was someone who's a general, a doctor, a senator, someone who's a governor, all the way up to Dolores. They do have Dolores in this book. This book is Latino leaders speak personal stories of struggles and triumphant. It's a really good book. It talks about Chicanos that come from nothing to become somebody. Like I said, a general manager, New York Mets, Omar Maaya. In different chapters is different people that you could read about. People, Arthur and Executive PepsiCo. Everybody has a couple of pages that they have their life story. Albert R. Gonzalez, U.S. Attorney General. National Education Association President, Lily Escalín Garcia. It's just, people who came up, chair of the Democratic National Committee and U.S. Secretary of Labor, Thomas E. Perez. People that we don't know about, people that are not leaders to the sense of a revolutionary of a state of mind, I guess, of which we consider someone who started a Chicano movement, someone trying to organize Lieutenant General U.S. Army, Ricardo Sanchez. See, stuff like this is pretty interesting. See, just being able to come up as being a Chicano from the struggles to have an accomplishment and to be able to have some success of a positive way, a positive intelligence that can inspire somebody, yet you ain't organizing and making movements, but yet, by you overcoming your struggle is a leader mentality, a leader state of mind. What is a leader to you? Do you consider yourself a leader? Is someone like American Cholo a leader to you? Does that matter to you? Was it a big deal that he was able to speak up about ay caramba and be able to go on No Jumper or Power 105? And was that the way we need to be heard? Is that leadership of bringing voice to our people? But what about what's going on? August 23rd, they say the farmers are walking from, I think, SoCal all the way up to Sacramento. Have some of you guys been seeing that post? What is being a leader? How is having our voice be heard about Ay Caramba make us really relevant? Yes, I guess, I don't know. What is being a leader? Is it organization to a movement of a better community, to have our own system, or to be better recognized in the system that is never built for us to have true success, and it possibly never will. But people that are nowadays on Chicano YouTubes, we got so much more people speaking up and speaking out. You know, are they qualified as leaders? Do they want to be leaders? Do you see them as being leaders? Is one that expires in what sense of, you know, leadership, to of what kind of movement, of what type of issues? See, speaking about leaders for the past 5 years, as being someone who was 25 when I started my channel, and Chicanos were not relevant. As I said, we were not around on YouTube. You you talk about all this black and brown unity, but yet, it's something that a lot of these Chicano YouTubers did not study these channels. Like I've always told some of you people, if you paid attention, all you Chicanos always said, go look, go watch this stuff. Like for an example, Gil is now dealing with other blacks, talking about these conversations, talking about stuff. I'm watching the interviews, and now he's dealing with 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 the brothers who have the mentality of, blacks were here first, or black men created hip hop and this and that, and talking about Tariq Nasheed, and all these people were people that I was telling y'all to be watching when I first started. See, because if some people can't listen to people that they don't like hearing. You have something on and you don't like what the guy's saying, you switch it. But that's how you learn. You gotta learn from listening to people that you don't find attractive, to that or whether, if you don't like them, but people got common sense of bringing truth, education, and history, you could learn from that. And see, if a lot of us, I don't know how many of us Chicanos actually, were aware and paying attention to, like the black community channels that I've been naming for years, if you guys been talking to me. Because, see, they weren't ready for this. You got to study the people, like I've always said, who are doing it. And then these conversations come around, you would have been more ready. You'll be able to understand, you know, the black and brown issues a little differently. But maybe I made some sense, maybe I didn't. But I'm knowing that who is who, how to deal with someone if you already don't agree with them. But it's all about us barely catching up, barely being a number in just the YouTube game. There's so many Chicanos now that are out there putting out information, but where we still don't have, to me, someone who is mind blowing, who is like, God damn, like, I don't know. I guess like Gil's doing it, but I don't see as many, like, just like, it's crazy. Like, you think about how I always come around to the Mexica movement, right? They were people who were organized, like, and putting out movements and information and sharing and protesting, and who's been doing Chicano awareness, Mexican awareness, should be the people who should be up here. Think about Set Lally, who was a part of the movement. She has about 20,000 subscribers, I've seen, since she's been doing it for years. It finally took her over 10 years to get that, like 15,000. I was watching her videos the other day, checking out her channel. Why isn't she relevant within the Chicano YouTube community? Is it because she don't want to be? Or is it because they're not trying to, bring her this way because of the way she believes and teaches history. She's a historian, you know, scholar. You know, she has a master's. You know, why isn't someone like her who's been around in YouTube so long, you know, more brought onto one of these Chicano channels? That's all hip hop street guys that made a relevance, but yet it's still no leader like a Farrakhan, like a Dr. Boyce, some type of educational instruction leader is what we need to start having relevance in the YouTube community of more. Yes, you got to give respect to some of these guys who grew up and were able to overcome their struggle and be a man and be able to share how this information and make these YouTube channels. But we're still not having, we still need these people of real revolutionaries, real activists being relevant in the in this YouTube game. So, tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel. Hope everything's been good. All I gotta say is history is knowledge, culture is power. Peace out, Chicanos.